Now, the other subject that I would like to allude to really quick is the tragedy that took place yesterday in Mina, where over 700 people, 700 from the Hujjaj died suffocating. Now, this is not the first tragedy in Saudi Arabia during Hajj. Many years before, in 2006, in 1996, in 1990, several years passed. In the past several years, there have been many tragedies, but it seems that this is one of the largest tragedies that took place in recent history. Also, a week ago, there was another tragedy when the crane collapsed inside the Masjid al-Haram, killing over 110 people. What does this say? What does this speak about? This tragedy. Obviously, there is no doubt that these two tragedies this year and the tragedies before refer to the incompetence and mismanagement of Saudi Arabia for the process of controlling the Hujjaj and the Hajj process. It shows that the Saudi government is a negligent government. It shows that it falls short in its responsibility toward ensuring the safety of Hujjaj. And I don't say this out of any personal agenda. I have been to Hajj so many times, and I have witnessed myself the negligence done by the Saudi government, the incompetence of Saudi authorities in protecting the lives of Hujjaj. Indeed, I have seen it with my own eyes, how Saudi authorities treat the Hujjaj. In some cases, they treat Hujjaj like they are animals, with no dignity. And yes, Saudi Arabia spends millions or billions of dollars on the infrastructure of Hajj, but they don't do this to ensure the comfort of Hujjaj or their convenience. They do this for propaganda reasons only, so they can brag about how diligent they are in serving the two holy sites of Islam. It does not mean at all that they are diligent in protecting the safety of Hujjaj. All it says that yes, the Saudi government is very generous in spending on the two holy sites of Islam, Mecca and Medina. And no doubt, they have spent, yes, billions of dollars. No one denies that. But the fact is that the Saudi government remains responsible and should be held accountable for these two tragedies that took place this year that caused the death of around 1,000 people so far. And as I'm talking about the role of this government in failing in protecting the safety of Hujjaj, I also need to talk again for one more time about the role of this government, Saudi government, in spreading hatred and murder and terror. On the day of Arafah, on Wednesday, 2 days ago, the highest religious authority in Saudi Arabia, the Grand Mufti of Saudi Arabia, he gives a speech in the most holiest site of Islam in Mina, in Arafat, in a historic masjid called Masjid Namira. Masjid Namira, it's a masjid located right inside Arafat. The Prophet of Islam gave his speech, his sermon in that masjid 14 centuries ago. The Grand Mufti of Saudi Arabia gave his speech 2 days ago in that masjid, before hundreds of thousands of Hujjaj. Now, what did this man say? It is all over the social media. You can go and watch it yourself. And instead of asking Muslims to be brothers, to be united, and instead of spreading tolerance and love, unity and solidarity between Muslims, What did he do? In his speech that is supposed to be a highlight of the unity of Islam, the man demonized the Houthi Yemenis. He called them kuffar, he called them murtadeen, he called them so many names. He demonized the Houthis. When? On Wednesday afternoon. Now on Thursday, yesterday, the day of the Eid, when people were praying in one of the masajid in Sana'a, terrorists, Wahhabi terrorists, go inside the masjid, detonate themselves, and they kill over 25 people, worshippers, who came to attend Salat al-Adha. Now you tell me that Saudi Arabia is not promoting violence? Is not promoting terrorism? Where is the world? Why they do not see the active promotion of terrorism by Saudi government? I believe that Saudi Arabia is #1 supporter of terrorists in the world. But we don't hear about that. All we hear about that is Iran. Our politicians in this country are so vulnerable and so intimidated by the Saudi lobby that they hardly speak about the role of Saudi Arabia's government in promoting violence and terrorism in the region. Indeed, in today's newspapers, if you go and read, the United Nations is trying to indict the Saudi government for committing war crimes in Yemen. Over 4,000 people, over 4,000 civilian people have been killed so far in Yemen. Do you hear people talking about this? Do you hear governments talking about this? Remember when the vicious and criminal government of Netanyahu bombed Gaza and they killed 1,000 people, the entire world was rocking and condemning these attacks that should have been unequivocally condemned. But now that Saudi Arabia is killing more people in Yemen, more civilian people in Yemen, you hardly hear any government criticizing their act, including our own government. Our own American government has been silent, dead silent about the atrocities and crimes committed by the Saudi government in Yemen. So the United Nations Human Rights Commission is trying to indict the Saudi government, and the Saudis are trying to fend off this indictment by buying some representatives of certain puppet countries, and our country, the United States, have been so silent about it, not doing anything to bring the Saudi authorities, the Saudi criminals, into justice. Why this double standards, my dear brothers and sisters? Did we forget that 15 hijackers, 15 terrorists out of 19 terrorists who attacked our nation, they were from Saudi Arabia? Did we forget that? Do we forget that Saudi Arabia is the biggest financer of terrorism in Iraq, in Syria, in Lebanon, in Yemen, in Afghanistan, in Pakistan? Do we forget that all this hatred and violence that is being displayed by those terrorists in the Middle East have been mainly financed by the Saudi government or Saudi wealthy people? Why there isn't so much talk about this? Then Ben Carson comes and he accuses Islam. Do not talk about Islam. Don't fool me. Talk about your own government, your own administration that is an accomplice with the Saudi government in killing innocent people. Don't talk about Islam as a religion that promotes violence. Talk about your own ally, Saudi government, that promotes violence. It's not Islam. Don't let Islam pay the price for the crimes committed by a corrupt Saudi government. Always Islam pays the price. Always Americans pinpoint to Islam for crimes committed by those terrorists financed by Saudi Arabia. And I think enough is enough. We need to speak up. We need to expose those traitors. We need to talk about Islam has nothing to do with the actions of this government and its puppet.